If you were an 80s or 90s kid, you probably grew up watching The Silverhawks, a 1986 animated series that follows a team of bionic space enforcers led by Commander Stargazer. In their fight against the evil alien crime boss and his gang, the Silverhawks are a memorable little group of heroes that somehow manage to save the day. With their abilities and bionic enhancements, they are quite the rage. But equally memorable are its iconic villains that match up in strength, powers and evilness to the hero's good efforts. With so much ado, let's dive into the world of these intergalactic villains that raise terror and havoc in Limbo. Now, just before we go into the video, we do have a small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to the channel. It's a small click for you, but for us it means an awful lot. Thank you very much. Now let's begin.
Yes, give me your power.
Monstar, the mob boss. So this is the main guy. Pure evil, pure menace. Voiced by Earl Hammond, Monstar is the leader of the mob and the arch enemy of the Silverhawks. He's a powerful alien crime lord and is called the Planet Master. As far as looks go, he's a muscular humanoid with an almost feline-like sharpness. Evil lurks in his dark hair that is streaked with red. His large red mane, his red beard and his left eye patch marked with a black star make him look quite the villain overall. Monstar is the most infamous criminal in the Limbo galaxy. He oversees its illicit operations with the help of his criminal associates known as the Mob. His rivalry with Commander Stargazer runs quite deep and it fuels his intense hatred for the Silverhawks. Monstar's true power comes from the rays of Limbo's Monstar. His body transforms when he's exposed to these beams and he uses his transformation chamber. He cries out, "Monstar of Limbo, give me the might, the muscle, the menace of Monstar," and that triggers his immense power. A spiked armor then encases him and amplifies his strength. It also grants him additional abilities like jets and laser weaponry. Monstar's main way of moving around is the Skyrunner, a giant space squid equipped with high-tech features. His most potent weapon is the Light Star Beam, which he fires from his left eye in his transformed state. The powerful red beam can paralyze, hypnotize, or even destroy his enemies. Monstar is so dangerous that Earth once sent 5 superpowered cyborgs to stop him when he escaped from prison. Additionally, with the Monstar's light, he can shapeshift at will. Monstar was once captured by Commander Stargazer and imprisoned on Penal Planet 10, but he managed to escape with his mob. In short, our villain here is quite the showman, leading the evil gang against the Silverhawks. In fact, his escape from the prison in the year 2839 is what steals the sleep of the space police. This is where it all starts. Since then, the Silverhawks have relentlessly pursued him, ousting his criminal activities. Known for his dramatic nature, he has an iconic evil laugh, especially when he escapes using a power source from hardware. Monstar is also very theatrical, often shouting rather than speaking. Despite his villainous nature though, he does show rare moments of compassion, like offering Yes Man a chance to escape in Uncle Rattler. Although he commands loyalty from his minions, who even work together to break him out of jail, he becomes less involved in direct action in later episodes, issuing orders from behind the scenes only. He appears in every episode except for episodes 15 and 45, where other villains like Hardware and the Bounty Hunter take the spotlight. Monstar made a brief cameo in the 2011 Thundercats episode Legacy. Now, if you think about it, he shares several similarities with Mumra from Thundercats. Both are the main antagonists of their respective series, both are voiced by Earl Hammond with a similar tone, and both carry the ability to transform into more powerful versions of themselves by reciting an incantation. Yes Man, the faithful servant. Next we have Yes Man, Monstar's personal assistant, who activates the machinery for his boss's transformations. Voiced by Bob McFadden, he's a member of his mob and true to his name, half human, half snake. Yes Man is a sycophant at heart, always responding to his superior with phrases like, "Oh yes boss, yes." In the Latin American dub, his name is even changed to Esclavo. He also embodies the trope of conflicting loyalty, as he's torn between his devotion to Monstar and his familial bond with his Uncle Rattler. In No More Mr. Nice Guy, Yes Man experiences a temporary badass phase, stepping into the transformation chamber with Monstar. You see, while he doesn't physically transform, his intellect and confidence are greatly enhanced, allowing him to dominate both the Silverhawks and his fellow mob members. However, when he begins to challenge Monstar's authority, his boss uses the light star to restore him back to his original state. Yes Man doesn't carry any special weaponry or equipment, and he rarely leaves Brimstar, which is likely why he wasn't imprisoned on Penal Planet 10 with the rest of the mob. His character shares similarities with Slithe from Thundercats, as both the villains are reptilian in nature. Both are also voiced by Bob McFadden, and they also speak fairly alike, elongating words that end in S. Both characters also have greenish skin, spotted bodies, and tails. Pokerface, the deceptive gambler. No, we're not talking about the emoji, but this dude has quite a funny face of his own. Pokerface, voiced by Larry Kenney, is a key villain in Silverhawks and a member of Monstar's mob. As the owner of the Starship Casino, he's a slick robot who always has his eyes on the money. He uses his charm and his style to his advantage in running his gambling empire. You see, he's dressed in a tuxedo and his eyes are mostly hidden behind square sunglasses. His eyes even look like slot machines, revealing his emotions at times. Pokerface regularly demands huge sums from Monstar for his new schemes against the Silverhawks. He occasionally enlists Mumbo Jumbo to serve as the pit boss at his casino. Like many of the mob members, Pokerface requires frequent recharging and uses an extendable power cord to plug into outlets that will restore his energy. Pokerface is never seen without his metal cane, which features playing card symbols and a hidden laser beam. One of his evil genius creations was a slot machine that could destroy entire planets. Slot reels show planets from the Limbo galaxy, and if all three reels align with the same planet, well then boom, that planet would be obliterated. But this comes at a cost. He charges 1 billion gold discs for one single spin. Molecular, the atomic demon. The mob's resident master of disguise and infiltration expert, the character of Molecular, is voiced by Doug Preece, an interesting villain in Silverhawks and a member of Monstar's mob. Molecular is accompanied by his robotic bird Vulture. Now, Molecular is a shapeshifter whose body is made up of copper-colored spherical molecules that allow him to change his shape and size at will. This makes him ideal for secret operations. Trickery and deception are his fodder. Dude is literally a walking chemical lab. He has the ability to shrink to the size of a small box or grow to the size of a large ship or a large box, such as the Mirage, but he must return to his original form before transformations. His abilities make him an expert in disguise, and he often serves as Monstar's spy and leading hitman. But our villain isn't perfect, he has but one flaw. His shadow always retains his true form, no matter what shape he assumes. And as for weapons, this cyborg chameleon is so versatile he doesn't need to carry any external instruments.
Why don't you take it off? What's the matter? Hiding something?
Hardware, engineer saving the day. Voiced by Bob McFadden, Hardware is a weapons specialist and a member of Monstar's mob, accompanied by his robotic bird, Prowler. He's a short but stocky purple-skinned alien with pink hair and pointy ears. In fact, he looks a lot like the orcs from The Return of the King. As the mob's mechanic and inventor, Hardware is highly intelligent and skilled in creating advanced tech gadgets. Monstar even considers himself the most dangerous minion due to his remarkable talent for invention. Hardware always carries a large rucksack known as the roll-up bag, which is filled with all kinds of different stuff. He uses these to quickly construct a whole bunch of weapons when needed. One of his many weapons is a laser Gatling cannon for melee combat. In one notable instance, when Monstar was recaptured, Hardware used the Monstar's power to activate a device that helped Monstar escape from Penal Planet 10. You see, in the first issue of Star Comics Silverhawks, Stargazer refers to Hardware as a troll, which makes him the only member of the mob whose species is explicitly named. Melodia, the sonic sorceress. If you think that the mob is a boys' club, wait for the dreaded femme fatale, blasting evil into the nooks and corners of all space. Melodia, voiced by Maggie Wheeler, is the only female of Monstar's mob. She serves as a musical nemesis to Silverhawks' bluegrass. Known as the musical mistress, she often causes chaos across the galaxy, using her Limbo as a mode of travel. Melodia's appearance is inspired by punk rock performers, featuring two-tone green hair and a short black dress, a red belt with a plug-up battery pack for her sound smasher, long red fingerless gloves, and half purple, half pink tights. She also wears dark blue glasses with red music note frames. Her curves bring quite the oomph to the show, which it otherwise lacks. Her main weapon is the sound smasher, which happens to be the musical synthesizer that can emit red energy beams shaped like musical notes. She uses her trademark keytar weapon to create devastating shockwaves. Melodia's chaotic nature and love for causing mayhem are matched by her musical genius. The way she talks is like a cross between between the Wicked Witch and the Valley Girl accent. She also laughs like a Wicked Witch, besides acting like one generally. She kind of reminds me of Harley Quinn wreaking havoc in a decadent city, but then her looks are very reminiscent of Cyndi Lauper back in the 1980s. Her similarity with Colonel Bluegrass, who uses his guitar as an instrument of murder, is quite fascinating. In an unusual turn of events, both were temporarily affected by a gas that changed their personalities, but Bluegrass turned evil while Melodia became good, although the shift overall was quite brief. Windhammer, anti-god of the sky. Voiced by Doug Priest, Windhammer is another villain in Silverhawks. This humanoid alien with grey skin, long pointy ears and flowing blonde hair is one of the mob's most powerful members. Windhammer carries a massive tuning fork that grants him control over the weather, weaponizing it to strike down Monstar's foes, particularly the Silverhawks team. He can summon fierce winds, lightning and even tornadoes. Imagine throwing storms like confetti at your enemies. They won't even stand a chance in front of you. The tuning fork is so potent, it can generate these destructive weather events even in the vacuum of space, where there exists no atmosphere. So Windhammer is like Thor, but on hardcore drugs and without Chris Hemsworth's abs, summoning the power of the sky to blast his enemies with the mighty weapon. Mumbo Jumbo, the brutish beast. Our villains are not just cyborgs, but also time robots with robot pets. Voiced by Peter Newman, Mumbo Jumbo is a robotic minotaur, partnered by his robotic bird, Airshock. He's the enforcer of the group, and is known for his massive physical strength and copper-plated metal body. He communicates through unintelligible grunts, which only his fellow mob members seem to be able to understand. He's often tasked with jobs requiring brute strength or heavy lifting. Though he's not the smartest of the lot, he can enhance his power by increasing his size and muscle mass. He then becomes even more bull-like and charges at anyone who opposes him. He also needs to recharge regularly and uses an extendable power cord to plug into a socket. At times he's seen relaxing at the Starship Casino with Pokerface, and his primary attack is a charging move on all fours, and he's known to be an enemy of Steelheart due to his own lack of strength and skill.
Who are you? Listen up, Pops. I said I'm Timestopper.
Timestopper, frozen at 14. Timestopper is a teenager in Monstar's mob, known for his ability to freeze time. Also, he wears a jetpack that lets him quickly travel from one location to another. Don't go by his appearance as an ordinary 14-year-old with messy orange hair and freckles though. He can be quite a pain in the crass, especially when influenced by Monstar's evil. As the youngest guy in the group, he has been the cause of some of the biggest menace to the Silverhawks. He wears a digital clock on his chest that counts down from 10 before time stops, but his powers come with limitations. If he doesn't unfreeze time before the Limbo minute limit is up, his timepiece will explode. During this frozen time, Timestopper can choose which individuals remain unaffected, allowing him to freeze the Silverhawks while leaving the rest of the mob untouched. However, Timestopper's main vulnerability is his fear of the dark, and his clock cannot function in total darkness. Buzzsaw, the walking robot razor. A sentient robotic member of the mob, outfitted with numerous saw blades, Buzzsaw is another important villain in Silverhawks and a key member of Monstar's group. With his mechanical bird, Shreddator, by his side, he's quite a sight. Designed with gleaming gold metallic exterior, Buzzsaw stands out as one of the most physically powerful figures in Monstar's crew. His defining feature is a collection of razor-sharp circular saws that are built in his metallic frame, head, shoulders and arms. He can rotate them at different speeds, turning himself into a whirling menace. He can even propel these deadly saws towards his enemies, cutting through even the hardest of steels that come into his path. This utter sadist is definitely built for sadism, but death for him is cheap. As a robot, he gets blown up multiple times, only to come back as a brand new shiny evil weapon. The name Buzzsaw has appeared in various fictional works. It's also the designation of a character from the Transformers franchise. In the 1987 film The Running Man, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, one of the villains adopts Buzzsaw as his alias. Apart from these 10 supervillains that are always loyal to Monstar and feature in most of the episodes, we also have a few villains who occasionally pop up and make things difficult for the whole crew of Silverhawks. 3 Outlaws from Fence. The 3 Outlaws from Fence are usually seen at the Sinistar Diner on the planet Fence, where they play cards with one another. Here we have the first Space Bandit, who is the robotic leader of the trio. As far as his powers go, he has demonic prosthetic arms that can blast at the enemy. Then there's Rhino, a rhinoceros-like mutant who joins him in these games. And we also have Cyclops, a balloon-bodied creature with a single eye. He's the weakest of the group. When shot, he loses air and floats around like a deflating balloon. But together they they form an odd little group that's mostly loyal to each other but also frequently backstabbed by Monstar's minions. They appear in several episodes, often associating with Melodia and Pokerface, though they are regularly betrayed by the mob. Other villains. Among the other villains we have the Bounty Hunter, who happens to be a muscular beast with a face like a bulldog and tall pointy ears too. He has a sparkling laser mounted on his head and a red star upon his belt. After being imprisoned by Stargazer for 200 years, he escaped from Penal Planet 10 twice. Bounty Hunter can not only absorb energy directed at him, but he also uses it to maintain his form and increase his size and strength. The only way to defeat him is to use Commander Stargazer's solar energy bazooka. Highly dangerous and powerful, he has easily overpowered the original Silverhawks twice already. Eventually, he was stopped by Commander Stargazer and the new golden Silverhawk named Hotwing. We also have Uncle Rattler, a character voiced by Peter Newman. He belongs to the same species as Yes Man and is his uncle. He makes a brief appearance in the episode named after him. Like Yes Man, Uncle Rattler shares a similar reptilian look and serves as an additional member of Monstar's criminal underworld, though his presence is limited to that single episode. Now, Zero, the memory thief, there's a shady figure who's not really a loyal member of the mob, but does show up at times to be a crooked little villain troubling the space police, mostly when it benefits him, to steal memories from both humans and computers, which he then stores in a tape recorder embedded in his chest. While he can weaponize amnesia and extract memories, he lacks the ability to use the information in the same way his victims can. Last but not least, we have Smiley, a reanimated mummy-like boxer robot who has been brought back to life by Pokerface. Once defeated by Commander Stargazer, Smiley is the heavyweight champion of Limbo. Pokerface controls him with a remote, and Smiley's first victory is in the Starship Casino, where he easily overpowers both Mumbo Jumbo and Buzzsaw, but he really makes no match for the invincible Silverhawks team. Marvelous Verdict. As the most notorious crime syndicate of the galaxy, these villains are the ultimate nightmare for the righteous Silverhawks. Working from their lair on the dark, desolate Brimstar, these criminals cruise through the cosmos, spreading mayhem across space and stripping people of sanity. There's loyalty, manipulation, and shape-shifting. There's blade cutting through metal like butter, there's thunder, there's hypnotic chaos, and obviously a bit of spice. These villains serve as the perfect nemesis to any semblance of civilization and stability in the Limbo. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't done so already. Otherwise, have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.